as many of you may have heard, we got a little bit of a demo going on the farm right now, and that would be the Krone Comprima, I don't know if I said that right, V180XC. So we're going to be using this baler to bale all of our third crop of hay. A couple things about this baler: it is a Krone, obviously, but it also makes bales that are 4 foot by approximately 6 foot. It has knives in it that cut the crop prior to being baled, and it has a roller to compress the hay as well before it gets picked up. So what we're doing right now is we're waiting for one of the reps from Krone to come down, and he's going to help us get the baler set up correctly and kind of run us through on how to operate it to make sure that, you know, we don't mess up. So let's have a closer look. So this baler is a 540, which is why we have it on the 7600. We had that issue with the 76 the other day, so we couldn't put it on the 46 if we had to, but luckily we got the PTO running and everything. Travis figured out that it was a speed switch. So, speed sensor, I should say. So, here's looking at the baler. We got our 4 foot net wrap roll right here. The knives are right down in there. So what that's going to do is it's going to cut the crop prior to being baled, and it should make higher quality bales with those knives in there. So here is the compressor, which essentially just kind of pushes the crop down and prepares it to be baled, so that way it's kind of compressed and it's not loose and all chaff and has a lot of chaff. So that's basically all I've really gotten to see out of this thing so far. We had the sides up on it before. It's kind of cool because it has oil drips on the side to keep the chains lubricated. We'll look into it more once the rep shows up. I'm kind of out here just taking a picture with the How Farms Work sign, and yeah, I think it should do a pretty good job, considering that a lot of our third crop admittedly is pretty weedy. So I think having those knives on there is really going to help make the bales higher quality. So what did you say we head back up to the shed? I'm going to park this somewhere out where people can't see it from the road. And then yeah, we're going to wait for him to show up, and he's going to run us through everything about the baler. One of the things that we're waiting for the rep to come for is to adjust the tongue. We're not sure if we can run it as is. One thing that we were told was that we want to make sure that the PTO is as straight as possible. So what we might have to do is adjust the tongue here and down there, and that way the PTO shaft will be more straight. I don't think it's too awful the way it is, but I think that if the rep is coming, you know, well, we asked the rep to come, so that way we would do it right. So yeah, I'm looking forward to using this thing tomorrow.
Here, that should be good there. We can walk it down. I have to loosen up these back ones a little bit more.
Doesn't have to be running. Can you close it?
Yeah, it does. No, it doesn't have to be running. It's only one way. Once you get the engine out, that does your main three as well as the signal.
So now I'm here with Randy from Krone. Randy, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Randy Benson. I'm a territory manager with Krone, and I cover Wisconsin, Minnesota, part of the Dakotas, and up into Manitoba a little bit. So,
all right, cool.
I've been a territory manager for about 3.5 years now. Before that, I worked at a Krone dealer in Minnesota. I was there, been selling Krone products since 2004.
Okay, cool. So you want to give us a little walk around on the baler and we can learn a little bit about it?
Yeah, so today we got the Comprima line of balers. So Krone has 3 lines of balers. They have a Belima, which is kind of a basic baler. They have a Fortima, which is a mid-range, and then the Comprima is kind of our high density, high capacity, high volume commercial balers. So the V180 is variable chamber, 180 centimeter max diameter, which is about a 6-foot bale, and XC means we have the rotocut system in it.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
okay.
All right, and some of the features unique to Krone, if we start right up front with the pickup, a little bit on it. Krone has offered a crop roller on our pickups since about 2004 on their round balers, and it just helps smooth out the windrow before it goes in.
Okay.
This Krone baler has the camless pickup. Krone is running their camless pickup on, you know, starting with their forage harvesters and onto the big score balers, and now onto the round balers. And if you look in, you'll see the tines are arranged in a wave pattern.
Yep.
And that's to help distribute the windrow load more evenly on the drive. And it also helps break up the windrow a little bit if you've got some clumpier conditions or some rake lumps and things like that. It just helps even out the windrow for a more even feed into the crop rotor.
Okay.
And while we're in there, you can see the crop rotor. This particular baler's got a 26 knife option with it, with the ability to run anywhere from 4 to 26 knives.
What are the knives? What kind of effect does that have on the quality of the feed?
So what the knives do, especially in silage situations, is it shortens the length of cut to help for a more even or for a better compaction, and better compaction eliminates oxygen. We get better fermentation.
Cool.
Right down here in a knife tray, we can select. So we have an A and a B, and each one of these will run about 13 of the knives. So right now we have the A set of knives in and the B set out.
Okay.
And we can simply take this little wrench here and just turn it, and we can select, you know, if we want to switch knives or put them all in or take them all out.
Okay.
Quick and easily.
Cool. Is there anything on the other side?
All right, under the left-hand side here, we'll start up front. We've got a pressure gauge here, and this is showing the operating pressure of our bale chamber, how much tension we actually have on the aprons in here. So it's got a maximum operating pressure of 180 bar.
Okay.
All right. We can adjust our pressure with this knob here. We simply turn it up or down to get the desired density to our bale. So the drier the product, generally the less pressure we won't run. The wetter the product, we generally run a little more pressure there, again, to help compress it and get better pack and fermentation.
Okay.
So all Krone balers have an automatic chain oiler on them. So we've got an oil reservoir here. There's a little pump run by a little eccentric on the end of the drive. So it's always pumping while the baler's operating. And it's adjustable, so we can control the amount of oil going onto the chains. So behind it, we've got helper springs for the pickup float. So there's one on each side, and we can adjust them a little bit to make sure our pickup follows the ground without too much down pressure on our gauge wheels.
Good.
We've got our main apron drive right here. We've got our tensioning system for our, what we call conveyors or aprons in our baler. We don't run a traditional belt baler like everybody else does. We've got a belt and slat system here. So there's a hydraulic cylinder on each side that tensions that system, and that's what we adjust with that valve up front we just looked at here. So,
okay.
All right, we're just moving back here. So we've got our cylinders that open the doors here. We've got our safety lockout that we're going to turn on to make sure we don't have any issues with the door coming down on us. So coming in, you can kind of see our belt and slat system we run, and this benefits us in several ways. One is it's a lot thicker belt. We can put a lot more pressure on it and create a lot more compaction on that bale.
Okay.
Two, it's a positive drive, so no matter how wet the crop is, it will always turn that bale. We don't have belts getting and rollers getting slimed over and things like that.
Okay.
And the steel bars actually kind of create a little compaction as they're contacting the bale. It creates a little divot and helps squeeze air out of the hay as it's coming in and forming the bale.
Mm-hmm.
So the Krone balers, we've got a front apron, and then we got a rear apron. It's not one long continuous one. We
Oh, they're separate?
They're separate. So that way we don't have the pattern of belts coming in and out of the through the rollers, you know, to take up all the slack when the bale is very small. So we run 2 smaller ones and 2 smaller tensioner systems. The front and rear each have their own tensioner on it, so
Okay.
it just saves some belt and saves some drive efficiency, I guess you call it.
Yeah, it's quite a bit different from what we're used to. We're used to seeing the belts and the John Deere
Traditional,
balers.
yep. So
Okay.
yeah, so we, you know, the other part of the forming chamber is we've got a large steel roller that the bale actually rides on. So the weight of the bale is compressing down on it. This is helping to turn the bale.
Okay.
And we've got 2 front forming rolls. And we talked about the net wrap. The net wrap actually comes in between those 2 rollers and starts feeding around the bale then.
Okay.
So, all right. And then we've got a positive ejecting bale ramp.
Yep.
So when the door opens, it actually pulls this up with it. It pries the bale out of the chamber. Sometimes with the wet silage sticky bales, they'll want to stick in there. This helps pry it out. It'll roll down. The bale ramp returns and it holds the bale away from the door. So if you're on a hill or something like that, we can shut the door again without risk of the door hitting
Really?
the bale, and we don't have to back up or
Well, that's pretty
turn
nice.
or anything. Unless you're on a really big hill, then you have to.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So that's kind of everything from this point. This baler's got big single tires on it. We also have an option for walking tandems.
Yep, I've
If
seen
you want
those.
more flotation or better ride. Some of the high-speed tractors, these tend to bounce a little bit as you get going faster. On this side, we've got a drive for the rear apron. We talked about the door had its own. We've got a big heavy drive for the roto cutter. So we've got a big heavy chain that runs just the cutter.
Okay.
And then we've got our drive for our pickup behind here. There again, everything is automatically oiled all the time. We've got grease banks for service, make it convenient to get at all the bearings for daily maintenance.
Is this the only one, or is there one on the other side too?
There's one on the other side as well, plus there's some smaller Zerks here and there, but we've got a label kind of where all the Zerks are. And
Yeah.
There's a big maintenance sticker on the other side.
So it's more noticeable.
Yep. So if we have to rethread the net wrap or change a roll, we're just going to lift up on this lever here, and it just simply slings out. Okay. You got to change the roll. You just spin this out of the tube. All right. Slide a new roll on. Spin it back on. So this serves as your net brake. Right?
Okay.
You need tension to cause it to stretch over the edge and things like that, and to cut off cleanly. All right. There's an icon of the net thread pattern. Sticker right on here.
Okay.
Okay. So it's going to go over this top bar. There's a green bar or silver roller underneath. You can kind of see there where it goes under.
Silver
Yep.
roller. Okay.
Then it's going to go back up over this kind of bent green bar here,
Okay.
and it has to go under this spiral one.
All right, and it just sits there.
And then there's a feed tray here, and it comes back. There's 2 layers of these little yellow fabric things.
Yep.
It goes in between. You can kind of see where the yellow curtain is on this rod here.
Yep.
Goes under that onto this feed plate here. If you don't get it under that yellow thing, then it won't feed in properly the bale. So what happens is when that actuator kicks in, this feed plate goes down right above that notched roller there, and it feeds. It feeds the net into the bale chamber. All right. So when you rethread the net, basically the net has to be about as long as those yellow tails are there.
Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yep. We'll put a little more through. So that should be enough to start the first bale. When you rethread it, when you start a new net roll, you can tie the net into a little knot and feed it through easier, and then just pull that knot down so it's dangling about to the end of those tails there. Then it has an easier time to grab it and thread it through.
Okay.
Okay. A lot of people make a mistake. They forget this green bar here and they go over the top of that spiral roll. When you do that, the net wrap will narrow in. It'll give you about a 3-foot wide band of net on the bale, because this will spin the wrong way. It'll actually spiral the net in instead of stretching it out over the edge.
Okay.
So,
Well, I can see where the paint has been worn, so it kind of helps as far as
Yep.
threading it.
yep, it isn't too bad. So, to get the monitor power, we need to have the key on, because that's what powers the job computer.
Okay.
That's what this warning means. Connection to the work set has been broken. So
Key on or tractor running?
no, just key has to be on. Hit OK. All right, it's going to take a minute to reboot up again. There you go. So you hit the red X. I'll shut the alarm off. Now you hit that return arrow. Now we're into the main baler menu. Okay. So when the door is down, we're going to have, actually, why don't you go ahead and start it and shut the gate so we have the regular run screen up. Just push it to float. Oh, okay. So the knob on the upper left-hand corner is like an emergency stop button. So if you hit that, it disables all electrical functions on a machine. It's like it's a safety function.
Okay.
So if we go ahead and we just push that, it's going to give you this code.
Really?
Yeah. You're just going to turn it and reset it again, and you're going to hit that OCK, which means acknowledge.
Okay.
Okay. On the upper right-hand corner, it is a touch screen, but you can manually scroll around. So if you got gloves or something on, when you scroll it, you see it. Okay, it's highlighted that number now.
Yep.
We can click on it, and we can change the size of the bale.
Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, we can just touch it and come up with the same thing.
Okay.
So, but touchscreens don't work with gloves on, so it gives you another option.
That's really helpful.
Same with the buttons on the right-hand side. You'll see an F1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep.
That corresponds to each of the touch screen buttons there. So there again, if you had a glove or something on, you could actuate it. So the top right-hand one, that's to manually start the net wrap. So let's say you have a half a bale or you have a missed tie or something.
Yep.
You can hit that, and that starts the net process.
Okay.
The next one down where the F3 is, that's showing that the baler's in automatic mode. Okay, meaning when the bale gets to your target size, it'll automatically start applying the net wrap.
Okay.
If you cycle it, a picture of a hand will come up, and you can manually bale. So, reason you'd want to do that, you got 30 feet left in the field, and you want to cram it into the bale. You can put it manual so it doesn't start tying the bale for you.
Oh, okay.
All right. The one underneath that with the icon of the pickup, that's the selector valve for the hydraulic valve between the pickup and the knife tray. So if you touch that one, it'll switch it to the picture of the knife or scissors. Now the knife tray will go up and down.
Okay.
With your number 3 valve in this case.
Okay.
If you touch it again, it goes back to pickup. All right.
All right. Okay.
Right above the 151 is your bale size. It's in centimeters only. Okay. So 150 is a 5-foot bale. 180 is a 6-foot bale.
Okay.
Okay. So
I'll keep it at 5 feet, and we'll go from there.
Just
as
play
far
with
as yep, probably gonna have a couple different looking bales.
As your bale grows, you're going to see this bar graph fill and turn dark. And that little line there, that's your target bale size. That's 151.
Oh,
so you can watch it. You know where you're at if you got a half a bale or 3/4 of a bale. The little hump up there, that's your steering guide. It's going to show that windrow to the left or right. If the arrow is pointing to the left, that means you steer the tractor to the left. If it points to the right, you steer the tractor to the right.
Okay. With that, that should be pretty well everything about the baler.
That's kind of our quick walk around, and
okay.
We'll bale some bales here in a little while and see how it works.
Yeah, we're looking forward to getting this thing out there and seeing what we can do out in the field. I'm really looking forward to recording this thing. I've always wanted to see a Krone run, and I've just never been around them. Yep. So anyway, with that, we're gonna let you all go. Be sure to stay tuned for our upcoming videos on this baler. We're gonna be using it to bale all of our third crop, and that's everything here and out at my place as well. So with that, we'll let you all go. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check out all of our other ones. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. All How Farms Work, and we'll see you next time.